All right, guys, I'm calling, and I'm not trying to be an ass. A lot of people think that this is true. I'm calling bullshit, and the reason I'm calling bullshit for is like they're not going to put this information out for the public right now. Like they don't want to give out any more information than they have to. So that big paper we got that had all that information that we got in this case, uh, where some of it was redacted and we didn't get everything, but we got enough to know kind of what was happening. That's all we got. So this kind of stuff, even though it's a possibility it could be true, it's a possibility it could be true. We don't have any facts to prove this. But yet everybody's running with this today like we have all the facts to believe this. Like his lawyer didn't put this out. The people going against him didn't put this out. So this is just it's not a fact. Like it's just not. Now, could it be real? Yes, 100% it could be real. So let's read this and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. 2 weeks before the slaying of the four Idaho of four University of Idaho students, last November, the men now accused of unaliving them sent a series of messages to one of the victims on Instagram. An investigator familiar with the case tells people, "See, that's this. It's bullshit. These cops, literally, these cops are told not to say anything, and it's their job if they fucking go out and say something. Like they've worked. Some of these cops work years to get to where they're at." And you think they're going to just come out and say this information? No. But in late October, an account that authorities, like, how do you know authorities? Like, the authorities aren't telling you this information, so why even put that in there? The authorities didn't tell you this information. You're just running with this. Belonged to Bryan. An account believed to belong. If the authorities thought this was true, if the authorities thought this was true and really were telling people this, they wouldn't say it that way. An account that authorities believe belongs to Bryan. It's not a fact that it's Bryan's. It could be Bryan's, is what they're telling you right there. Which is also telling you that this whole story is bullshit. Like, yes, it could be true. Bryan could have messaged somebody in that house on some account, but they're not going to tell you that. And that right there, that sentence tells you that this whole thing's a made up story. Authorities ain't going to say they believe it could have been Bryan. Like, they'd make sure it was for 100% sure Bryan before they even say anything about it. Sent a greeting to one of the female victims, the source says. When he didn't get a reply, he sent several more messages to her. He slid into one of the girl's DMs several times, but she didn't respond. The source tells people basically it was just him saying, "Hey, how are you?" But he did it again and again. See, I don't believe this, guys. Like, I believe it could have happened. I believe Bryan may have talked to one of these people in this house. I believe that for a fact. But it's not a fact. Because we don't know. And the cops aren't putting out information about this case. No cop is taking a chance of losing their job because of this case. They're just not giving this information out. It could be real, and it could have happened. But their source that they're using and saying it's a cop is BS.